We are incredibly trusting of a timeline we can't see. We take our most vital ambitions, the things that actually define who we want to be, and we assign them to a day that hasn't arrived and isn't guaranteed to appear. We call it tomorrow. Most of us treat procrastination as a harmless quirk, or perhaps a temporary lapse in discipline that we'll eventually overcome. In reality, it functions as a silent daily erosion of capability that happens in almost every household. It is a crime without a police force, where the victim and the perpetrator are the same person. When you delay a task, you aren't just shifting your schedule. You are actively severing a branching path of potential. Each tomorrow acts as a blade, cutting off a version of your life that could have thrived. Choosing to wait is a decision to kill the version of yourself that could have existed. Look at the version of you that speaks a second language fluently. That person can navigate new cultures, build different friendships, and see the world through a different lens. When that goal is pushed off for a year, you lose more than time. You forfeit that entire identity. That version of you, the traveler, the communicator, is effectively erased before they can ever be born. Since we logically know that our time is finite, why do we continue to indulge in this habit? Why do we keep consuming something that we know limits us? We act as the assassins of our own potential because we are trapped by a psychological blind spot, a mechanism that makes inaction feel safer than effort. This mental trap operates like a desert mirage. It uses our own exhaustion to keep us from moving forward. Today is difficult. It's filled with immediate friction, low energy, and the weight of current responsibilities. Our brains are desperate for an escape. To cope, the brain projects an idealized future you with infinite discipline. But when you reach that future, exhaustion returns, and that perfect version shifts further away, permanently out of reach. The idea of tomorrow acts as a relief valve. It's a comforting lie we use to fall asleep without the weight of today's failure. We spend nearly 20 years in a system designed to give us information, yet most adults lack the basic tools to navigate this mental illusion. Traditional schooling focuses on external compliance. We learn history, math, and science through prompts and deadlines dictated by someone else. For 2 decades, your life is managed by bells and supervisors. But adulthood is an unstructured void where the bells stop ringing and the supervisors disappear. The education system prepares us to follow instructions, but it fails to teach internal discipline. We aren't taught how to issue our own commands or how to ignore the inner voice of laziness. Because we were never trained to be our own masters, we default to the unregulated lullaby of later. Breaking this cycle requires a shift in focus. We have to stop looking at the horizon and start looking at the ground beneath our feet. Today is the only timeline that physically exists. We often freeze because we look at a project in its entirety. Our brains see a mountain of work and trigger immediate psychological paralysis. It's like trying to push a stalled SUV. Breaking that initial static hold requires a massive, concentrated burst of energy. The weight feels immovable. But the moment the tires rotate even 1 inch, the physics shift. Kinetic momentum takes over, and the perceived weight of the vehicle drops. The true obstacle isn't the size of the work, it's the friction of the very first push. To overcome this, you have to ignore the mountain. Stop thinking about the final result and focus entirely on the first inch of movement. Don't write the entire book, just open the laptop. Don't commit to the workout, just put on your shoes. Once that initial friction is broken, your momentum changes. Once you have your shoes on, the act of sitting back down on the couch actually becomes more difficult than moving forward. You reclaim your future by abandoning the mirage of tomorrow and taking that 1-inch step right now.